Welcome back to Ranma Half Anime Review Part 20. This is reviewing the last 9 episodes of Season 6. Episodes 128 to 136. Here's kind of the strange thing about these episodes. Only 3 filler episodes in this set. Oh yes, only 3. First 2 is a two-parter. Uko's Secret Sauce. I know this is a canon story because it mentions something I do remember from the manga. This story kind of in a way wraps up Uko in a way, mostly her story arc, though she comes back for at least like one filler episode. Yeah, she comes back for she actually comes back 2 episodes that have really nothing to do. Like one basically I'm not surprised because it's a canon episode. The other one, well, doesn't really do much of anything. Like one is canon, the other is filler. Yeah, this whole secret sauce thing. She tries this sauce she's been saving for 10 years. And it was pretty bad. It actually turns out in this two-parter that Ranma is actually responsible for this sauce tasting nasty because he really wanted to taste the sauce so badly. So he put a bunch of junk in it and made it taste really bad. And here's the thing. Despite the fact that Akane does know about him doing this, Ranma does never tells Uko this the entire time. At one point, Uko closes her shop and starts living with the Tendos. Oh yeah, and she does this frequent thing where she tries to make moves on Ranma. First, by voluntarily wanting to wash his back. Akane acting like completely irrational and not reading the situation properly, she beats up Ranma for allegedly maybe hitting on her or whatever. Yeah, she does the same thing a little bit later when Uko volunteers to sleep in the same bed as Ranma. And Ranma, of course, yells at her and says, "Hey, I did nothing wrong. She did this herself," and Akane doesn't believe him. So she sends him frickin' flying for this. Yeah, that's the usual thing. By the end of this two-parter, Rama ends up drinking the entire sauce himself, so Uko can stop being bad, feeling bad for herself. Yeah, it's a particularly very weird two-parter per se. Yes, the next episode actually concludes an actual story arc per se that's been running for the show for quite some time. What story arc is it? The martial arts tea sitting ceremony. Oh my gosh, I am so happy Heck, I agree with Rama. This whole story arc with this particular guy is quite stupid. Yes, okay, so the story for this one is this. Apparently he's not man enough to be taken over the head of the school. So his grandmother gets kidnapped by a rival school of theirs. Yeah, and at one point he assumes that the whole kidnapping was staged by the elders. Why? Because the elders in the old school look exactly like them. Like, I would say the only difference between these two groups of ladies is their clothing. Oh yeah, and they do their fighting all standing up. The true one does it all sitting down. Wouldn't that hurt your legs after a while? Who the frick cares? So, what does Senose basically do? Go to Rama and Kandi for help. So at one point, they take them to school, meet with the elders, think that the whole thing is, Kirsty concludes that possibly might be a ruse, and it turns out, yep, this whole thing is really true. Yeah, so they of course get a little history of the martial arts tea sitting ceremony. Which it's kind of dumb. Like, okay, you fight in an open field and you're sitting having tea. Yeah, this film martial arts is so stupid. At least gymnastics makes a lot more sense than this. Because with that one, you're actually doing something. This is dumb. And It is by far the dumbest story arc of the entire series. It's not stupid per se, but at least one thing you got praise with this one. At least with this episode, at least you can say they're done with the martial arts tea singing ceremony. They started this last season, and with this season they kind of wrapped this up. And as far as I can tell, I don't think the character who appeared in the story arc never appears ever again. Like, oh my gosh, yes. So they go to rescue the grandma at this house that looks a lot nicer than in his place. And of course, there's a maze, and he fights the old ladies who actually fight standing up. And then they go, and he, of course, like, Connie kicks him for being an idiot, kicks him right into the building. Like, he's like, "Oh, grandmama!" Yeah, that's what he calls her, grandmama. Yeah, it's particularly very, let's just say, very strange. And it's like, okay, you rescued me, but we need to solve the whole feud. Okay, so open the door. Smoking hot lady sitting behind the door. And Sanosuke basically just immediately falls for her, and they get engaged. Yep. And then the episode ends with him riding his horse with this fiancée to the Tendo house. And as far as I can tell, that's the last you can see of the guy, because we're done with this stupid story arc. Excuse me. Next we have Mystery of the Masquerade Octopus Pot. Yeah, this one's quite interesting, because this is technically the first appearance of... Actually, there's one episode. I'll talk about this one in a minute. Mystery of the Masquerade Octopus. This is a canon episode. This is a follow-up to Penio's Toro story arc, which they don't mention him in this whole two-parter. Yeah, how he got in the pot is never explained. Yeah, apparently Penio's Toro in the manga was one who did this to him. In the anime, they never bother to explain this. Mostly put this episode is a follow-up to that. Yes, that could explain why they kept him absent for this long period of time. So apparently, instead of selling underwear like he normally is known for doing, he steals various objects for this woman he's fallen for, which is the second woman he's ever fallen for in the series. Yeah, last one was a preschool teacher. A very beautiful one. Like, oh my gosh, this woman was so freaking gorgeous. And the only reason why she broke up with him was because she found he was an underwear thief. Yep, that is the only reason why. Despite the fact it seemed like his feelings were actually genuine for her, but he couldn't keep his hands to himself when it comes to our ladies. Yeah, by the way, this same thing happened when he and Cologne used it when they were younger. So, deja vu. Yep. And apparently the whole octopus pot thing, this was something that Shao, Genta, and Ranma were hired to deal with this thing. And they basically, when they found out who it is, they just simply ignored it. They just ate, then they left town, then nothing much has solved this one. It's just a very strange standalone episode. Yes, this one's canon, but nothing much has come of it. And he gets to the pot, no problem at all. Now, as for the first of the 3 filler episodes, Akane goes to the hospital, which has the return of Dr. Tofu. First time in quite a while since I've seen this guy. This is probably by far I could think of his only appearance that he'd make the whole season. So, Janosuke, the creepy guy, one who's only appeared in, what I can tell, mostly filler episodes. Yeah, this is by far the first time I can think of he actually appears in a canon episode, because his character sucks from the manga. He's simply put Kendo's henchman, and his ninja basically fills the role for him until he shows up in the series. Why the heck they decided to skip over this character, I have no idea. So, yeah, he takes pictures because he's creepy. By the way, he does not play a role in the actual episode's plot at all. Like, the first, yeah, this is one of 2 episodes he makes. Yeah, he just seen taking pictures of Akane. By the way, this is by far the first one to feature most of the cast since the Christmas episode, with the exception of Kadachi. She's in this episode, but in a voiceover. Yep, she recorded her voice. So you can kind of say she was in this episode. So, what happens in this one? Well, he basically, because of what Ranma did, he accidentally causes Akane to fall off a banister beam and break her leg. Well, yeah, so they take her to a local clinic. Dr. Tofu treats her. She stays there for a while. Ranma basically is depressed about this. He goes visit her once when she's there. And of course, then he sees the whole stupid Ranma written on her cast. I don't know if she wrote that there or did Nabiki wrote that there. I have no idea. So they have a party, and I thought this was so hilarious. They have a party. The second one basically ended with everybody just falling asleep at the Nintendo house, and this is a adorable moment where Shampoo and Uko sleep on top of each other. I thought this was so funny. Yeah, no, these two are not have a thing for each other. It's just I thought this was so hilarious. So eventually, Rama does have sort of a apology banner because he's kind of the one responsible for all this, and well, she's able to go home a day early, and they run away, and the episode ends basically with him giving her a piggyback ride back home. Yeah, this is actually a pretty damn good episode. I discovered most because it was kind of a dumb episode. Next one. Gazakugi's Paper Dolls Love, a candid episode featuring this guy. Yep. Yeah, him getting paper dolls to get revenge against Rama, he really wants Akane. And paper dolls don't do much of anything. He wants to use on himself just so he can get a good night's sleep, but he ends up basically being late for school. Yeah. It's a candid episode, it's a nothing episode. Yeah, it's an episode I didn't really care for. I had to fast forward through it in order to get it done over with. Yeah, nothing really major except the fact he actually spies on Connie when she's jogging. Yep, and then we have two straight filler episodes. First, we have a boy who's basically a telepath, so he can read minds. Apparently, he finds out about this place from, of all people, Ryoga, who actually does appear in this episode. Ryoga does appear in the Connie Goes to Hospital. This one is kind of a loose follow-up to it. Yes, it's pretty much a loose follow-up to it for Akane's Infallible Heart. This one is basically like Ryoga's looking for a mailbox. He can't seem to find one. And then, he runs his boy who sees a picture of Akane. They go to visit. He causes misery to them, and he leaves. And, of course, the episode ends with Ryoga still looking for the frickin' mailbox. Yeah, because he has a terrible sense of direction. And another episode that pretty much meant nothing overall in the exteriors itself, aside from the fact that this standalone character, the attraction to Connie, what character in the series what male character has not developed attraction? It seems like almost everybody has. And it's an episode that goes nowhere. It's an episode I didn't really care for. Teenage Ghost Story. Yeah, a ghost that somehow it was haunting Akane's notebook, which got wet. Oh yeah, and Kendo's in this one. Yes, the second one he actually does appear in. And he does play a small role in the actual episode plot, unlike last time where he was simply just a guest star. He did play somewhat of a role, but not really a big one. This one was slightly bigger, and apparently he loves listening to the shop owner about his wild stories that he tells, which none of them are true. Yeah, and he finds out there's actually a ghost haunting the thing. He tries to get away, but yeah, this ghost was actually someone he actually knew when she was alive. She apparently went to school. How or when she died is never explained. Who this woman is, they don't mention her name until the very end of the episode. And her name is Koge Mushi. Yeah. It's a quite interesting one. There's at one point in the episode, even though she's a ghost, you actually are taking a bath. Yes, a frickin' bath. Also, she pops up at the Tendo house for some strange reason, and it becomes sort of a... And then they pretty much when they look for this treasure, you basically figure what she's looking for. It becomes sort of a Raiders Lost Ark type of thing, where you have Rama, Akane, and Kendo looking for a thing. There's even a Raiders Lost Ark reference where you have Kendo being chased by a boulder. Yeah, that's a Raiders Lost Ark reference. And it turns out the object she was looking for was actually in the shop all along. As a matter of fact, the temple was connected to this little shop that's kept in the basement. By the way, this is this guy's second appearance in the series. Unlike last time, where it was a pretty decent episode, this one was actually a lot better. For one thing, he was not involved in the series plot, thank God. And he did play a minor role in the episode, but at least he wasn't like the main focus of the episode. Yes. Yeah, I had watched this one like earlier today. Master and Student Forever, and in case you're wondering, is this a kid episode? Oh yes, it is. Based upon one chapter of the manga. The story of this one is this, is that Ranma stops Abachi, Hippocyte, from stealing underwear, so he gets beat up for like, let's have revenge. Last time this happened, he ended up creating a split personality for Ranma. This time, he developed something to have him be attached to Ranma the entire episode. Yes, and at one point to hide him, I kind of think as though, hey, why not just, I don't know, put him in a bear costume? I'm like, okay, make him like, Cone from Bleach. For some strange reason. I have no idea why. Unlike last time where it was a full episode, this one's actually canon. Like, oh my gosh, this one is. And so how in the world and of course they had the whole thing be attached. How this happens is that they both take a pill that he somehow makes, and they end up getting magnetically attached to him. Ranma does not know that he's on him until the following morning. Because Hippocyte did this when he was asleep. Not the first time he's done this in the series. Yep, and well, and this episode does feature Kendo, Kudo, and yeah, he doesn't do anything at all. There's a lot more in the next episode, which I actually start watching just before I came home. And yeah, it's an episode that is actually nothing in the grand scheme of things. Hippocyte gets beat up, and his punishment for all this is to eat Akani's terrible cooking. Yep. Because he did this. Like, the ending itself kind of reminded me of the ending of an episode from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, where the punishment is somebody, not painfully per se, but have eat something very disgusting. Yeah, this happened in Star Crusaders. When they're traveling through Egypt, they basically had to fight a baby who was actually a stand user in a dream. And one of the users basically decided to punish him, not hurting because he doesn't like hurting babies, by having him eat his own poop. Yeah, I'm not kidding about that. He takes a tiny little sliver of his poop, and he mixes it with his baby food, and he has him eat it. Of course, the other members of the group do not know about the poop at all. Yeah, it's kind of gross. This is just as gross. Hippocyte eating Akani's terrible cooking. And that is his punishment for this. Eating terrible food. Yep. Yeah, despite the fact it's the first proper canon episode to feature him in quite a while, it's ultimately another nothing episode. At least this one was a little more interesting than Gozukogi's Paper Dolls. That was boring. This was okay, but a little bit better. Yeah, I gotta say, for season 6 overall, it has pretty decent episodes, really good ones. I'd say in the bunch I reviewed, I'd say the only really weak episodes are Gozukogi's Paper Dolls of Love and the final episode of season Master Student Forever. Yeah, 2 canon episodes, yes. These 2, surprisingly, are terrible episodes. It's nothing to write home about at all. Akani's Inflammable Heart, this one was almost just as bad, but at least this one was pretty decent for what it was. It was an innocent episode. But in the case overall for season 6, this is a pretty damn good season. Despite the fact having a few really bad episodes and a lot more canon episodes than usual. I thought this was quite strange. Yes, a lot more canon episodes because, well, the last few seasons didn't really produce that many amount of canon episodes, especially for the set I just reviewed. Like, this is 9 episodes and 6 of them are canon, which is quite interesting. Because usually when I do these sets of episodes, usually I give out 3, maybe 4, but not where it's 6, where the canon episodes actually outnumber the filler. And surprisingly, aside from the of the 3 filler episodes, there was only really 1 bad filler episode. Well, it was a pretty decent one. The 2 they had, one featured Connie's name, are like Connie Goes to the Hospital and Connie's Abandonable Heart, which this second one was mostly a minor follow-up to what happened with the last one. But yeah, not much else to say about these episodes, but they're pretty good, except for a couple. Now, you're normally thinking, okay, I just finished going through season 6. This is me, I'm going to do RWBY season 3 next. No. I had a slight change of scheduling here, that because this season took a little bit longer than expected, I decided to just jumpstart with season 7 of Ranma Half, and then once Ranma Half is finished, I will do both seasons 3 and 4, and then I'll do the OVAs for Ranma Half. Yep. But yeah, that's it for this particular review. One more review to do, and it's a review of another figure. Yep, another figure. Yeah, I originally was going to do this episode, I just did this one here yesterday, but I ran out of time. Today I actually do have time to do this. Yep. And I'm going to do a figure review next, okay? But do you see you next review. Bye.